this video I'm going to teach you another way to use herbs to incorporate them into your diet into something that's more of a food. So in this video I'm going to teach you how to make chocolate in just a few easy steps with just a few simple ingredients. So what we're going to need first is obviously some chocolate. Now you could just use cacao butter and cacao powder and do that whole process, but I just bypassed that whole thing. And now I'm experimenting with this cacao paste. It's like, I think it's like $3 or $4 for this whole bar. And so we're gonna need that, and then some coconut oil just to kind of stretch out this chocolate and also make the chocolate just a little more smooth and rich. Okay, so here I have my chocolate bar, and basically now what I'm gonna do just to help this melt down is just do exactly what you just saw me do, which is break this into smaller chunks and then simply drop it in. And this is what we're doing here. It's called a double boil, I think. Basically I just took some water, have it in this pot, and it's warming up on the stove. It doesn't really need to get too hot because the chocolate will melt at over 98 degrees. Coconut will melt over like 76, 78 or something. So you don't have to get it crazy hot, you just need to get it warm enough. And you can already see it's already starting to melt a little bit down there in the cup there. You can see that actually already. So basically I'm just gonna take the rest of this bar, break it up, put it in here, and then melt this down. So now that we've got the chocolate all broken down into bits here in the measuring cup, basically it's gonna take a couple spoonfuls of coconut oil and very professionally and carefully place it on top of the chocolate, and that's all going to melt down and mix together. And then in just a few minutes here, when this is all melted down, we'll have ourselves a base for our chocolate, to which we can add, of course, our sweetener, but most importantly all of our tonic herbs and really unique and special ingredients that we're going to add to this chocolate. Alright, so as you can see, we've got pretty good of amount of the chocolate and coconut oil melted down here. So now what I'm going to do while it's good and hot is go ahead and add in some honey, because sometimes honey, as you can see, can be a little crystallized, and I don't really want any chunks in there, so I want to add in all the honey in there that I can so that it will all mix. Alright, so here we are in this next stage of the process. Now that everything is melted down, the coconut oil, the chocolate, and the honey have mixed together. And I apologize now. A, this isn't my kitchen. I'm house sitting, dog sitting for my parents right now. And two, if there's any weird angles cutting off my head, I just want you to be able to see what I'm doing here. So here we go. So now that I've got this all melted together, it's time to make this into a delicious chocolate. So first, what I'm going to add is just a little bit of cinnamon, just because I like cinnamon. Cinnamon chocolate have been eaten together for thousands of years, and they go really well together. They have a synergy, and they're friends. Of course, chocolate wouldn't be complete without vanilla, so of course a nice tablespoon of vanilla powder. Now I'm just basically going to dump everything in and stir it up in this measuring cup right now. So next thing I'm going to add is going to be a little bit of camu berry powder, probably just about a teaspoon of that. Next up is just a handful of goji berries to give this some texture, a little bit of crunch. Let's change it up, and of course gojis and chocolate go really well together as well. Next up will be everyone's favorite roasted maca. And I'm going to do, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon or so of the roasted maca. Just throw that in there. Maybe another one. That'll be good. So we'll do about 2 tablespoons of roasted maca. Next, and that just smells straight up like peanut butter almost. It's really good, really nutty, really creamy and rich. Next, to add to the richness and the flavor, just a little bit of lucuma powder. Creamy, it's sweet, it's malty, and it's going to go really well in this chocolate. Next, let's get into some herbs. First up, of course, no chocolate would be complete without reishi. So I'm going to do, it looks like about a tablespoon of reishi. Next, will be, of course, some cordyceps. And all the herbs I'll be using here are from Hyperion Herbs. So I'll use a little under a tablespoon of cordyceps. Next will be some shou. And for the shou, I'll do about a tablespoon of that. And next, I'm going to pull something cool out of my pocket, which is, of course, if you can read this, chaga 10-to-1 extract. And you'll see that here. I'm very excited to say that I'm sampling some new chaga right now. So maybe there'll be some back on Hyperion Herbs, hopefully. But just keep an eye out. So I'm going to do about a tablespoon of chaga, just because this stuff is delicious. And it's going to go really well in our chocolate. And I think that's all I'm going to add. So I'm basically just going to take my spoon and gently stir this up. And yes, some stuff may shoot off the side. It's going to happen. And depending on how much powder you add, this will stay runny and liquidy, or as you can see, it's what I'm getting here is something that's more thick and almost kind of fudgy. But basically just stir it up, mix it up, put some energy into it, some intention into it, pay attention to it, talk to it if you need to, talk about how awesome it's going to be, how good it's going to make you feel, and just keep stirring and stirring. We want everything to mix evenly, we want everything to be delicious, no chunks in our chocolate. So I'm going to go ahead and do the only thing that's left to do, which is, of course, taste it. And it's amazing. It tastes like, the amazing thing is you don't even really taste any of the herbs, and it's just rich and dark, and just it tastes like there's peanut butter in here. This tastes like a chocolate peanut butter cup, but there's no peanut butter in it. You saw me, you didn't see me put any peanut butter in here. So I think I'm going to add just a little more honey, because what happens sometimes is it gets a little dry from all of the powder and from the chocolate, because the chocolate, its very nature, is drying. So I'm just going to pour some in here, and just to kind of moisten it up a little bit. And of course, who doesn't love honey? So there's another spoonful of honey, which will just make this taste even better and make it, of course, a lot less drying on the palate. And I may add some more herbs. I guess maybe not. I don't know. Some mucuna. Why not? Mucuna would be fun. And again, I actually have some mucuna extract here. So it's been about 15 minutes or so. Here we have our finished product. Still needs a little time to harden up, but it's good enough. Texture is amazing. It just melts in your mouth. Good crunch from the goji. Nice little crunch from the vanilla and all the herbs in it. Flavor-wise, it's just amazing. It just really tastes like a chocolate peanut butter cup, but there's no peanut butter in it. It's just from the maca and then all the other herbs. And it's an important thing to note when combining flavors, is that things have friends, things have things that complement it. And chocolate, for example, and the maca go well together because they're both rich. For example, the roasted maca, it's very rich and nutty and malty, and just kind of tastes like peanut butter. So things like cordyceps and reishi and shou are all kind of on that same wavelength. So you put all that together, and the maca and the cacao kind of blanket all of it and envelope all of those bitter herbal tastes, and it's just an amazing combination. So this is another way you can make, take your herbs. You can freeze this. You can take it with you when you're on a road trip, when you're out, have it as a daily snack or as a meal or whatever you want to do with it. It's delicious. It's fun. You can serve it to friends and family. And it's just another way that I like to take tonic herbs. So I'm going to eat the rest of this. If you have any questions or comments, post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.